everyone, it's Teresa and welcome back. And I just want to send another big thank you out to everyone who's been subscribing, who's new, which would basically be everybody because I have only been filming for about 2 months. So I'm super excited that I am getting closer and closer to 200. I'm going to do a big giveaway when I get to 200, and I'm going to probably try to do a giveaway sometime this month of December. Speaking of December, happy December 1st. I am over in Central Florida, and today we actually got down into the 40s. So I got to wear my, my sweater and feel like, I'm along with the rest of the nation and actually have some cold weather. Well, cold for Florida. So without further ado though, let me go ahead and get into our DIYs today. They are all things that you can create for under $5. There are 5 of them. I think that's going to be a series that I do, 5 under 5. And you'll notice behind me, if you've watched any of my previous videos, not all of them, I think the last couple have been different, but some of the older videos I have, they actually have a different background, a different look to them. I have got a brand new desk. It's so nice and big. My old one was tiny, so let me know if you'd be interested in seeing the room that I have kind of made into my crafting room. It is a spare bedroom, so it does have a bed. A small part of me kind of wishes I could just get rid of it and make more room for my stuff, but let me know if that's something you'd be interested in seeing kind of a tour once I've gotten everything done and set up. I have been sharing a couple little hacks and things as I've set stuff up over on Instagram. So go check me out over on Instagram. It'll be linked below. I'm Teresa B DIY over there as well. So let's go ahead and get into the videos, and I will see you next time. Bye.
All right, for our first project, we're going to use one of these little crates and this elf sign from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to make ourselves a little candy spot. So we're going to go ahead and get all of the stuff pulled off of the elf. We're gonna make it, I thought about using the legs, then I kind of decided against it. Those little ribbons just pull right off pretty easily. And I'm gonna go ahead and cover all of his, all of this sign with some Mod Podge because it is pretty much covered in glitter, and this will help it from, getting everywhere throughout your entire house, but it still lets you have a little bit of that glitziness that you would get from glitter. What I did, because I didn't want it to be a different finish throughout, so I went ahead and did all the areas first that had the glitter on it and kind of avoided his face and hands because that glitter does end up transferring it, and then I wipe it off, and then I'm going to go ahead and go in with it to cover up his face. That way he kind of keeps that same look to him. So he's all done. He is going to go to the side, and I'm going to let him dry. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this red acrylic paint from Target. It's in the dollar spot, and I just cover the entire crate with that red acrylic paint. It's very close in color to the Crimson Waverly paint. And so next we're just going to take some of the antique wax from Folk Art, and we're going to just do a little bit here and there of it, kind of dry brushing it on the corners, around the edges, kind of in the little grooves, just to give it a little bit of a texture. Make it look like it's a little less than just flat. So we'll just do that throughout, the whole crate to give it a nice little different look to it, especially if you like that distressed look. You might want to do it a little bit more. At first I was actually going to dry brush the red all over the crate, leaving a lot of the other part bare, but decided against it. And what I did next, I actually covered the entire thing with a dishwasher Mod Podge because it is going to be in my kitchen. I didn't want to worry about it getting wet and like seeping into the wood. I mean, it's not expensive wood. I don't know what would happen to it if it would get wet. So I'm going to take 2 jumbo craft sticks, cut it down to size, and I'm going to glue it on the back of this sign, because I want to have kind of where you're getting the candy out of the crate. You can kind of see the sign, and maybe it'll discourage any little children from stealing candy when they're not allowed to. So what I was trying to decide here is like, am I going to paint the sticks? Am I going to leave them alone? So I'm going to go ahead and just paint them, just being careful not to get it all over the sign. And we're just going to do that same red acrylic paint And I'm going to cover just basically just enough because obviously that is going to be, covered up. So no point in painting it when it's just going to be glued to the crate. And there we go. We go ahead and attach him, and you really could stop there. It just kind of depends on how you're feeling. I was like looking at it, I'm like, okay, I can see it from the back. So I was like, first, let me go ahead and paint these sticks. Maybe it'll blend in a little bit more. So I end up painting kind of both sides, or not both sides, excuse me, top and bottom of the craft sticks. And as you'll see here in a minute, I kind of decide that it's not good enough. If it's fine, of course, if it's going to go up against like a wall or something. And I was trying to figure out what to do. And so what I did, I ended up grabbing one of the planks that you're going to see here in just a second. I get one of those planks and I'm just going to cover it with that antique wax. Just give it a nice quick coat of it. And I'm going to use some of these window clings from Walmart. Just cover the little snowflakes with some Mod Podge little stick. And some of the little ones are a little tricky to get off. If you have or find like the window clings that are like candy or something, if you see those at Dollar Tree, or I don't know if they have them at Walmart, I haven't seen them, but that would be ideal. I did not have them, so I ended up just doing some snowflakes, and I'm just going to kind of put it on the back of that elf, just because I thought like it just felt weird without something. And to cover up the hole, I'm just going to toss a little bow on him or her. I thought about doing some little eyelashes, but I didn't want to mess it up. I was afraid I would end up messing it up. To do it, I was probably just going to grab like a Sharpie, but I decided against it. So I'm just going to put this on the back. I'll be honest, I'm not in love with it from the back. I just wanted something to cover it. But here it is all done. I think the front is adorable though. So we're on to the next one. We're going to take 2 of these Hurricane Vases from Dollar Tree. They're 2 different sizes, a large and a small. And these window clings from Hobby Lobby. When they're half off, they're only $1.50. So don't worry. When I first saw them, I loved them. So what I did with my Hurricane Vases is I did take them outside and use a matte spray paint, like a matte clear paint, and it gives this beautiful like frosted look. And then what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and put those snowflakes on using some Mod Podge. This is just a satin Mod Podge. It's just kind of what I had easily within reach. So what I would suggest, having done it now, is to go very, very light on the Mod Podge in like the middle area, because this is like the next day I am doing the finishing up this video and it is still not dry, and so that would be my recommendation, but you do whatever you would like to do. So I'm just going to end up using I use all but one of those clings on between the 2 vases. I wish this set had come with like some really small ones. I think that would have been really pretty to kind of offset these larger ones, but this is the way it is, and it's super pretty with the glitter. And one thing I love is the glitter doesn't come off. It doesn't come off the window cling, so you get the beautiful like shiny glittery look, but without the mess that you end up having throughout your entire house as far as those glitter snowflakes are. So I end up deciding just to squeeze one in a little bit, one more spot, just because I really didn't want to leave them bare. I wanted it to be very kind of scattered. So I'll add in this last little one, and I do end up having to trim it up a little bit, and you'll see that in just a second. See, it hangs over just a little bit on the top part. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just fold it over, and then I ended up just kind of deciding I'd trim it off. So just clean off any excess Mod Podge that you get on it, because it is going to take away that frosted look on those spots. So yep, see, I'm just going to get my detail scissors, and there they are. See, you can see that they're still not dry. I'm hoping that they dry. So we're on to the next one. These are, again, some window clings that I got from Walmart, and this is just the buffalo check plate from Dollar Tree. This is one of the things that you can get if you buy online from Dollar Tree, and you do not have to buy that many. I think I bought 4. I think I bought 4 of them, and you end up paying like a little bit extra for like them to ship it to the store or something. But don't worry, it does not add that much. If you've been looking for these chargers and you really want them, I would definitely recommend looking online. Otherwise, it is a complete crapshoot if you may ever find them in the store. I think I've seen them in a store once, and so I would definitely recommend getting them online. So back to the DIY here. I'm just going to go ahead and coated the back of it with the Mod Podge, and now I'm putting it down, and I'm going to just try to get out any little bubbles, and you're just kind of trying to work with the curves of the charger. I could have stopped there, but I decided just to add a few little snowflakes. This set does have some little snowflakes, so it's kind of perfect. I used that set on another DIY. I will link it below. It's just with the wood cutouts and stuff. I definitely recommend it because it turned out super, super pretty. If you find that set, grab a couple. They're 98 cents. They're steel. They're beautiful. I love them. I am not the biggest red truck fan, but it is growing on me. I tell you what, it is definitely growing on me. And there's other things in that set. There's like trees, there's a sign. It's super, super cute for a lot of different things. So I would definitely recommend it. And I'm sorry this is moving so slow. I apparently did not speed this part up. So there we have it. We're all finished, and there it is. It looks really pretty, really cute, and I hope you guys like it. All right, so I found those little windows, that little window you see there. I found that over at the Target dollar spot. They are $3 each. They have some that don't have the snowflakes, and then they have that are just like a natural wood, and then they have those white ones with the snowflakes. I was going to take it apart, and that did not really work because it is not only screwed in, it is also glued. I unscrewed everything and then came to the conclusion that it was also glued. So the bag is from Dollar Tree, and I just kind of cut it down, get it to size to where I want to put it. I wanted to be able to see kind of part of the word Christmas. Obviously, I wasn't going to be able to fit the whole thing, but I wanted you to be able to see that it says Christmas. And I thought I was going to have a really easy time finding a bag to fit under this, but this is the first one I found that I was really liked the way it was going to look. So I really like the way it looks, and I have several more of these little windows because, like I said, I thought it was going to be easy to find things to put with it, but not as much. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of hot glue to the back so I can go ahead and get it kind of positioned in there where I want it, and then I'll just flip it over, give it a couple of presses, and next we'll go back in and add some more glue. I didn't want to do it from the back like it is right now because I was afraid I was going to end up with it in some kind of a little wonky spot. So what I would recommend if you're going to do this, try to glue more on the inside part of the window, because like here I'm going to go ahead and just try to trim up some of the bag that's hanging over. And I had a hard spot like right here. Yeah, I think right here I end up having a hard time because I did have some hot glue right there. So if you do this, try to keep your glue kind of more on the inside part of the window so you don't have the same problem. So I'll just take my little craft knife and I'll just end up kind of trimming off as much as I can, or as much as you need to. And once you've gotten all of your window kind of cleaned up, you're pretty much done. You can add a bow if you want to. You can, I thought about using like the string from the bag to add a bow, but I kind of like it the way it is. So I'm going to probably do a couple of other projects, maybe non-Christmas related, with the natural wood ones. So there it is. It's all finished and it's pretty. I like it. I don't know. I had other things in mind for it, but so on this one, pay no attention to the paper, because at first I thought I was going to use that paper for this particular DIY, and I did not. So I have this little Shadowboxy thing left over from Halloween, and we're just going to pop off the little part to adhere it to the wall. I'm not going to use it, and I'm just going to fill in those holes with some spackle from Dollar Tree. And that ornament that you see, the really pretty white snowflakey thing, is also from Dollar Tree. So in the efforts of not feeling like waiting around, I just scrape off as much of that spackle as I can, because I am not going to wait and I'm just going to paint it. So I painted the whole thing white, but as much as I'm obviously not going to have it looking, sitting somewhere that you can see the back, I am going to go ahead and cover that just with some white paper because it is obviously Halloween on that side. Now you could leave it intact if you have a Halloween one still, leave it intact and have it be reversible. That would work as well. And they actually do have a lot of them still out and about in your Dollar Trees that are Christmas related, or if you have a Halloween one left over, that works too. So I went ahead and painted it. I was pretty sloppy about it. I wasn't too worried about it because I am going to go ahead and cover this all with my folk art antique wax. I'm going to give it kind of like a wood look. I wanted it to go where you're looking at it and it's more of like the really glitzy pretty ornament on top of the more rustic wood. I don't know. I just like the idea of the contrast. So when you're doing this, anytime you're going to do this wax over paint, you're going to want to try to keep it going in whatever direction like the wood grain is going. You know what I mean? Like if it were wood, it would be going all in one direction. So it's kind of hard in such a small space. So be warned on that one if you did decide to do this project or something like it in one of these little boxes. So we're going to finish this up. Again, I'm not too worried about how much of it is staying or if it's splotchy, and I'll show you why here in just a minute, our little trick. I'll do the insides too, and it's kind of up to you and what your style is. If you want to leave it all white, if you want to do like the paper inside of it. I thought after I was thinking about it, I was like, the paper is going to be kind of tricky because you're putting it on the inside. And I don't know about you, but I'm not the biggest fan of measuring things out beforehand. So I thought that this might be a little bit easier, maybe a little more time consuming, but definitely easier just to, slap some paint on stuff. And once it's all done on the inside, I'm going to go ahead and do the same on the outer part. Again, trying to keep it all going in one direction. It does dry reasonably fast since you're not, piling coat on coat on coat. So, and one thing you can do here in a minute, once you're done with this layer, I'm going to actually go in with the clear wax. It's also going to be from Folk Art, and that's going to help us kind of bring up, you're going to pull up some of this wax, and you'll see in just a minute how we're going to go about doing that. So see, here we go. We're going to go in with our clear wax, and we're going to, I do end up putting it in like a little container because I don't want to cross contaminate it with all the antique one. And you're going to put it on, and basically you just keep brushing anywhere you want to pull up the wax. It's kind of nice because it gives you that medium, so you can start to see it's almost giving me like a little bit of like a crackle look to it, so you can see more of the white paint underneath. If you're not a fan of this and you don't like it, you can just kind of go right in with the wax right on top of the cardboard, and that's going to give you that wood look. It was a little hard to do that since I knew the sides of it were going to be black. This particular one comes that way at least. And so I didn't really want it to be like the brown on the black, and it just depends on what you're doing and which little box you have in your stash or which ones you find at the store. So like I said, this is going to pull up your wax, make it look much more rustic. See, that's a nice shot of it. It gives you the full idea. And it's nice in case, I like this method if you end up messing up when you're putting down the wax or anything like that, because a lot of times it doesn't adhere if you have like hot glue on something. So this is a nice effect to kind of blend it all in. And that's another thing. If you end up getting this like fingerprints all in this wax, this is a way to blend it in once it's kind of dried without having to go in with like another coat. So I let it dry overnight, not really on purpose so much as just some little girl decided she was needed me to help her go to bed. I pull off the rhinestone off the middle because it was kind of wonky, and I add a little red bow just to give it a little pop of color. And I'm going to add all of the little pieces that are going to touch the backing of it. I'm going to add the glue to that. Give it a little press down, and here it is, all finished. I really like the contrast of it. So that is the end of our video. Here are all of the finished DIYs. I really hope you enjoyed this. I really like doing the 5 for under 5. So let me know too if you like them. I will continue to make them, and I'll probably add like a little playlist so you can check out all the previous ones. So I hope everyone is having a wonderful start to their December. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time.